Hello, Katie Eldridge here. I am about to bring you a routine geared for after maybe a long day of riding, sitting in the saddle. So we're going to loosen up those hamstrings and we'll help relieve any of that lower back tension. And we're also go ahead and come into some spinal rotation, also again helping with that lower back. So props today. I am at my dad's visiting for vacation, so I just went into their cupboard. I have a bath towel and a hand towel. So not a whole lot that you'll need, and you'll notice I'm not even laying out a yoga mat. If you have a yoga mat or something soft you'd like to lay on, feel free to do so. If not, I will be demonstrating a lot just with this bath towel. So folding the bath towel into halves and then half again, I'm just gonna come into tabletop position, making sure knees directly under hips, wrist under shoulders. And we're gonna come into cat-cows. So cat-cow, a cow, I'm gonna let my belly dip. My chest is gonna come forward. So think about just releasing that chest towards the floor. Eye gaze can come about 45 degrees in front of you or looking straight, feeling a widening throughout the collarbone, and your tailbone is coming up towards the ceiling. And now as I exhale, I'm going to go ahead and start to tuck my tailbone, round my back, and tuck my chin into my chest. I really like to exaggerate this movement, just really getting into my back and all those tight erector spinelli that support the spine. So really pressing with your palms into the floor, rounding the back, coming into your cat. And then inhale, cow, tailbone lifts, chest dips. And see if you can find a little bit more movement, stretch in that mid back, maybe allowing that belly to come down towards the floor just a little bit more. Your shoulders have a widening sensation as if the front of your shoulder head is rolling back. And you're just keeping a soft eye gaze, maybe opening and closing the mouth, not creating any tension in the jaw. And then exhale, go ahead and round the tailbone, tuck the chin into the chest, and I'm coming into my cat. So pressing the floor away, I'm drawing my shoulder blades away from one another, flattening out mid back. And then we'll go one more round here. Going at your own pace, spend any time that you need in either the cow or the cat, just wherever you feel that good deep stretch. And then coming into cat, exhaling, tucking my tailbone, chin to chest. And then on your inhale, just coming back up to tabletop pose. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring my toes together. I like to bring my knees out wide. You can leave your knees where they are if you want. I'm just going to press back into child's pose. So think about your hips coming towards your heels. And if you're really tight, you might be up slightly, and that's okay. Be okay where you're at. Be accepting, not judging, not critical. And then placing forehead on floor. Or if that's not available to you, making a fist with your hands. You can stack your hands on one another, placing the forehead on top of the hands. Should be feeling a deep stretch to the outside of the hips. And begin to focus on the breath. As you inhale through the nose, the breath rides up the back of the spine, all the way from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Pausing at the top. And as you exhale, sigh out your mouth, feeling a weight, heaviness into the hips. Go one more round here. Inhale through the nose. See if you can take it a little bit deeper, pausing at the top. And exhaling, sigh out the mouth, releasing any tension. And on your next inhalation, we're going to go ahead and just stretch those lat muscles that tend to get tight as we're pulling back, all those pulling muscles. So right hand, right palm comes down to the floor, and you're going to go ahead and extend it out. I like to rest my forehead back on my fist, or you can take a slight eye gaze towards that palm. Think about pressing those finger pads into the floor, creating a deeper stretch as you allow the chest to dip down. If you have any pain in your shoulder or elbow, keeping a slight bend. We want to make sure we're not creating tension in that upper back. So think about drawing the bottom of that shoulder blade back towards your hip. And then inhale using that left palm. And go ahead and switching sides. So now my left palm slides out into extension, forehead drops to my fist, and I'm pressing through those finger pads, activating the stretch as I isometrically pull the bottom of that left shoulder blade back towards my hip. Inhale and exhale here. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and press yourself up. And we're just going to come onto our back. So if you're on a bare floor like I am, you might want to go ahead and just open up that blanket or towel and just give yourself some cushioning up on that upper back. If not, maybe you're on carpet and you're good to go. So on your back, we're going to go ahead and pull our knees into our chest. Think about bringing the top of the thighs as close to your chest as possible and just rocking side to side. Maybe drawing some circles, getting a little bit of that lower back stretch. And if this is not available to you and you don't feel like you can have your hands on top of your shins, an option also is to just grab the back of your thighs. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and release that left foot straight. We're just going to keep our right knee pulled into our chest, on top of shins, or maybe hands on the back of the thigh. And see if you can pull your knee towards your side body, just getting a little deeper of a stretch. And my left leg, even though it's straight, I'm pressing the back of my heel into the floor. Again, if this has any pain associated, you feel anything in that lower back, you can always come to a bent knee position. I'm just trying to stretch out that hip flexor muscle that gets tight from all that sitting we do in the saddle. And then on your exhale, using your left hand, let's go ahead and pull our knee across our body. So right knee comes to left side, and just coming as far as comfortable to you. My right back of my hand is extended to the right side, kind of in that T position. If you want additional neck stretch, eye gaze can come to that right palm. Inhale and exhale here. Should be feeling a stretch to the outside of that right hip, glute area. And then on your inhale, go ahead, knee rises. Bring your left knee in to meet the right. Maybe give it a little rock, maybe a little hug. And now extend. Right leg comes straight, left knee stays pulled in to the body. And just kind of evaluate, right? Check in with that right leg. If it's extended, think about pressing the back of the heel into the floor, just getting a deeper stretch through that hip flexor. And now pull that left knee in towards the side body, just getting a deeper hip stretch. And then on your exhale, using that right hand, guiding the left knee across the body to the right side. So feeling a stretch to that left glute, outer thigh. And maybe your back just like popped and it feels amazing. That's good. It means you're releasing any of those tight muscles. Eye gaze can come to that left palm or up to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale here. Inhale, knee comes center. And then go ahead and pull the right knee in, but we're going to bring our feet flat onto the floor. And we're going to press through our heels just to lift our hips slightly. So I'm lifting through the glutes and by pressing through the heels. I'm not lifting through that lower back. I'm not using my lower back to get this lift. It comes from my glutes and my hamstrings. And then exhale, go ahead and release. So this pose is a little tricky, so maybe I need to angle myself a little different. Okay, so right leg. We're going to start with our right leg. You're going to pull your knee in towards your torso, but cross body slightly. So if you were to go and like cross your legs, this is kind of the position you would be, but you should be able to bring the right heel into the outside of the left thigh. So hopefully you can see me okay. I'm going to place my left hand to the outside of that right thigh, and you'll kind of feel that meaty muscle on the side of your thigh. Holding on to that, now I'm just going to extend. So if you look down, the back of your knee should be even with the top of your left knee. My foot is flexed. That means I'm bringing my toes back towards my shin. And you're probably feeling a pretty intense stretch all from the heel of that right foot all the way up into that hip joint. That's that IT band that gets really tight as we're trying to balance ourselves in the saddle. So on your exhale, go ahead and bend. Bring that heel to the outside of your left thigh. And then inhale, you're going to extend again. If you need a deeper stretch, use that left hand to pull that right thigh a little bit closer towards your midline. And you might be here with a bent knee. That's okay, you're still getting a good stretch. And then exhale, go ahead and tap. Heel to outside thigh. And then inhale, just one final one. So far we've had our toes flex back towards our shins, maybe making some ankle circles. What you're going to do is pretend your big toe is a pointer. We're going to draw a big circle with that big toe. So going 3 one direction and then 3 opposite direction. Just getting a little bit of flexibility in the ankles that get tight and outside of the shin. And then on your exhale, go ahead and bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh, and we're going to do a hip opener. This is called the figure 4 stretch, and I'm going to kind of show you from this direction so you can see me. You'll notice my right ankle is on top of my left thigh, and then I'm going to reach my hands through my leg and grab the back of my left thigh. So now I'm holding onto my left hamstring. And I'm using my right elbow to guide that right knee away from my body. So when you're here, making sure relax in your neck and torso area. We don't want to be trying to get into this pose so hard that we're creating tension in the upper back. And this is where my towel can come in handy. So now I have my hand towel. You can just grab either side of your hand towel and use the hand towel, maybe relaxing those elbows as you pull back, feeling a deep stretch through the outside of the thigh. And then exhale, release. Okay, so coming to opposite side. So now we're on the left side. Left heel is to the outside of the right thigh, and I'm using my right hand to grab the outside of my left thigh. So once you feel that meaty portion of the left thigh, we're going to go ahead and extend. Inhale, just trying to extend that left leg straight. And you're going to have one side that's a little bit more intense than the other. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to angle myself separately. So if you need a little bit more direction, just a different angle. And then as you exhale, notice that heel comes to the outside of your thigh. And then inhale, extend. Flexing those toes back towards the shin actually will give you a stretch in those calves. And the whole time, you're able to keep that nice, even breathing. If you feel like you're starting to breathe quickly, you've gone too far and you just need to back out of the pose just a little bit using one of the modifications. And then exhale, heel to the outside of your thigh. And then inhale, extend. And now we're going to go ahead and do those 3 ankle circles. So you're using the left big toe to draw big circles one direction, and then 3 circles the opposite direction. My leg is physically not moving. I'm just rotating in that ankle joint. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release. And now we're at that figure 4 stretch, getting that left side of the hip. So reaching through the legs, grabbing the back of that right thigh, or I'm also going to show you with the towel again. So I'm just threading the towel through my legs. I'm grabbing either side of the towel, and now I'm just going to use the towel as leverage. You want to make sure in this pose that you're able to relax. Relax the back of your head, your shoulders. I'm not creating any tension in my upper back. And getting a deeper stretch by flexing those toes back towards the shin, maybe using that elbow to guide that knee away from the torso. Inhale and exhale here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release. And let's go ahead and bring both feet flat on the floor. Come a little bit wider than we did previously with our bridge. And arms can just be out in that T position at your sides. And we're just going to drop. We're going to windshield wiper. This is what it's called, windshield wipers. We're going to drop our knees to the right side. Maybe you're feeling a stretch through that left, outer hip into the abdominals, obliques. And then inhale, knees come to ceiling. And then exhale, dropping your knees towards the left side. So I'm not forcing my right knee down towards the floor. I'm just letting gravity help. This is our wind down. It should feel pretty good. And then inhale, coming up. And now we're going to go ahead and come into a seated position. For me, I have some tight hips, so I am going to actually build up my towel to get me some leverage. So just as if you were to fold a towel before you place it in the cabinet, and then I'm going to come seated on that. So now our inner thighs, our adductors get really tight as we're squeezing our legs in to guide our horse. So we want to make sure we go ahead and stretch those out. So I'm seated on the towel. You can see my folded towel. If you have a blanket, sometimes even just grabbing one of those toss pillows from the couch is a wonderful option. I'm using my hands against my feet to create some tension so I can get length in that back. I'm trying to have a really nice straight back. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to use that tension, pulling my torso maybe a little bit more. Or maybe you want to be here. You can place your hands to the back and just focus on bringing your knees towards the floor. If the inside of your foot opens up and comes away from your big toe, that's okay. You just want to keep your feet together. You should be feeling a stretch towards that inner thigh. And just coming into the pose that best serves you, where you feel a stretch. Inhale and exhale here. Nice. And inhale, go ahead and release. So I'm gonna bring you into another stretch. This one tends to be really hard on people. My husband is very challenged when it comes to this pose. He's really tight in the front of his quads and shins. So for me, I'm gonna show you with a rolled up towel. You might need an additional towel, but I have him place the top of his ankles on top of the towel because we're gonna sit back, right? So what we're doing is we're just kind of opening up those quads, a little stretch with that. So if you're here and you're not feeling anything, two options. Either release the towel and you'll feel those sit bones on the back of your heels. And if you need a little bit more, go ahead and reach with your left fingertips up to the ceiling and you can bring your right hand back. Just going to angle myself a little differently. So I'm creating a slight back bend. So I'm getting a stretch through the lateral side, left side of my body, and my quads and shins. And then exhale, release. Maybe just go ahead and come down. I like to rock side to side, feels really good. Rocking side to side also just kind of resets that nervous system, just taking it out of that flight and flight into our parasympathetic. Inhale, if you're taking this option, right fingertips to ceiling. If you want to get really funky with it, you can add a little side bend, just protecting that lower back, sit bones on the back of the heels. And then exhale, coming down, maybe bringing forehead to floor, hands relaxing down by your sides. And I like just to rock side by side slightly. And then when you're ready, using your palms to go ahead and press yourselves up, we are going to finish with the best pose ever. So if I'm to recommend one stretch that you do every day for the rest of your life, this is it. So this is that chest opener, right? So as we're here, we get this rounded shoulder and we get really tight through the pectorals and the front of the shoulder. So we need to open that up every day and just to reset our posture. That's why those people, that you always see hunched over, it's because they have really tight muscles. So I rolled up my towel. Sorry if I didn't walk you through it. So I have my towel. All I did was form a roll in it. So now I'm placing that roll in the mid back. So I want you to think right where your shoulder blades end. If you want to go really old school, it's where those heart rate monitors would be. For my girls out there, it's where the band of our sports bra comes. So then I'm going to inhale and I'm just going to come back. You'll notice it kind of lifts my chest. My hands are out by my sides. And I always, the first thing I do, just check in with your shoulders, making sure your shoulders not shrugging up towards the ears, maybe lengthening the back of your neck. I like to make sure that the back of my head is in contact with the floor. So I'm not kind of facing backwards. My nose is kind of even with the ceiling. And then we're going to relax here. A couple options with your legs. You can walk your legs out, kind of like how we did for those windshield wipers, and allow your knees to fall towards one another. So now my knees are kind of supporting one another. If you have any lower back pain, I would really highly suggest this. If your back's feeling pretty good and you feel like it's more the front of your body that gets tight, go ahead and extend the legs. Option, closing your eyes. And we're just going to focus on that breath. Inhaling through the nose, just finding length. And then exhale, sigh out the mouth, releasing any tension. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Just letting it all go. Stay here as long as you desire. I recommend 1 to 2 minutes. It's natural for thoughts to come into our minds. Maybe you're thinking about something that happened previous in the day, or maybe it's, what you need to do next. Just acknowledge it and then let it go as if a butterfly kind of just flutters off. And then you'll begin to focus on the breath again, the inhalation and the exhalation. When you're ready and when you've had enough to get up from this position, go ahead and bring the bottom of your feet into, or bend your knees, bottom feet into the earth, and you're just going to roll onto your side. So coming onto your side, we've been on our back for a while. So we want to make sure that we're just bringing that blood flow back into the heart, refamiliarizing ourselves with our surroundings, opening your eyes if they were closed, and pressing through your palm to slowly rise up. Thank you. If you have any questions, give me a shout out, hit me up. Candy Coffee, this is for you again. I hope all is well, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of restful, stretches after a long ride. Thank you. Bye.